honestly didn't think an evening routine could make such a big difference. I can confidently say this routine is the missing piece that improved my life. He's the world's most measured human and a rising star in the longevity and biohacking space, making waves on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok the past few months. His name is Bryan Johnson. Bryan Johnson spent 2 years and $2 million to create Project Blueprint, an anti-aging protocol designed by 30 doctors that reversed his speed of aging by the equivalent of 31 years. And then there's me, a normal person looking for a reasonable evening routine to set me up for a great day every day. I needed a routine that would help me wind down from the stress of the day so I could wake up with tons of energy to get things done. The problem is, parts of Bryan's routine can be pretty challenging to do on a daily basis, and certain gear is pretty expensive. Being in bed by 8:30, stopping eating by noon, and using a $750 HRV device. I love this for Bryan, but it doesn't feel quite right for me. I still want the health benefits, so I shifted the routine back by 1.5 hours and made a few tweaks to make it as approachable as possible. Think of this as the evening routine for normal people, which looks like this. Stop eating at the same time every day. Keep the same bedtime every night. HRV training or stimulation, skin, oral, and hair care. Set up systems for the next day. Chill social time. Phase 1 is the wind down. The evening routine starts at 7 p.m. once dinner ends in order to give at least 3 hours to digest before bed. Then it's time to wind down with some chill social time. Phase 2 is body care and prep. At 8:30, it's time to head to the washroom for skincare, oral care, and hair care. Phase 3 is bedtime. At 9:30, we slide into bed for some HRV training for 20 to 30 minutes. Here are the rules. No eating past 7 p.m. and lights out by 10. Use what I already have, and of course, no days off, even if it gets really hard. It went surprisingly well. I'm going to give you the conclusion right now so you don't have to wait until the end of the video. I did not think an evening routine would make much of a difference in my life. I was wrong. I thought the morning routine is a game changer, but honestly, this evening routine is even more powerful. Essentially, everything became easier. It was easy to wake up, I had more self-control, and I generally just had more motivation to do things like exercise, eating well, and getting to bed on time. Bryan says that his #1 priority in life is to get great sleep, and at first I was like, that's weird, but after doing this evening routine for 30 days, I totally get that now. Exercise, skincare, all of that is very important, but if I could only do one thing to move the needle, it would be to organize my life around getting great sleep. The 30 days can be split into 2 parts. The first 10 to 15 days, I struggled to stick with certain parts of the routine, particularly not eating past 7. I love to eat with my friends late, and making sure my booty was in bed by 9:30 for HRV training. At the time of filming, it is summertime and the days are long and filled with fun adventures. It felt pretty challenging to set a new boundary with my loved ones that I would be leaving wherever I was at 8 p.m., getting myself to go at 8 p.m. so I could be home, ready for my routine at 8:30. I've never actually had an evening routine. I've always focused on morning routines. In the beginning, it felt pretty awkward to be more regimented at this part of the day. By the last 15 days, I started to feel really good, and I began craving this routine. My body began adjusting to my defined sleep time, and it was much easier to fall asleep. By 8:30, I could start to feel my body shifting down and getting ready for sleep. So it became easier just to flow through my evening routine and be in bed by 10 p.m. If you want to know more on a week-to-week basis how I implement routines like this and others, I recommend checking out my free weekly email newsletter, which you can join in the description below for some helpful health-related links and musings. Day 1 at 7 p.m., I stopped eating dinner. I set a daily alarm for 6:55 p.m. to remind me I have 5 minutes for any last bites. This way, the alarm is set up and I don't have to think about it. At this point, I am out in the world with loved ones, either on a walk with my partner, hanging out with my friends, or enjoying some alone time in nature. I moved the chill hangout time to earlier in the routine. This way, I can be out and about adventuring with friends, and all I need to remember is that I need to start getting home around 8 p.m. and be home home ready to do my skincare routine by 8:30. I have an alarm set daily for 7:45 p.m. that reminds me, hey, you got 15 minutes to wrap it up. By 8:30, I was home and ready for my self-care routine. I'd start with my oral routine care, which involved flossing, water pick, brushing teeth with high fluoride toothpaste, swishing a few drops of tea tree oil in my mouth, and finishing with scraping the tongue. Then I'd rinse off the day and start my skincare routine, which in the evenings include niacinamide, tretinoin, and ending with moisturizing on my face and my body. Tretinoin needs about 20 minutes once applied to sink into the skin. I'd take this time to set up my systems for the next day. This planning is what Bryan Johnson calls unlocking the autonomous self. By 9:30, I'm in bed for HRV training to regulate my breathing and reduce stress in my nervous system. I use the Resonance app to get in the habit of HRV training, which is a beautifully designed app that is free for 7 days. Long term, however, my plan is to switch to the Elite HRV app, which is free, but you have to buy the Polar H10 strap for about $75, which overall is the most cost-effective and has the most powerful tracking on the market. Bryan uses his NeuroSim device when he gets home as a passive way to neuromodulate his nervous system. He's also been testing the Pulsetto for 10 minutes before bed. By 10 p.m., I finish my breathing exercises and I am off to bed. Overall, this routine provided an unexpected boost in my life. I can't stress enough how consistently getting good sleep has positively impacted every other part of my well-being. Bryan talks about sleep being a lighthouse, meaning it's meant to guide the way, and if you ignore it, you will crash into the cliff. I understand that it's not always possible to get great sleep if you have young kids and other factors. The point here is simply a reminder that sleep is very important and do what is within our control to make sleep a priority. Will I continue? Absolutely yes. Once I decided the parameters of the routine and I got going, it felt incredibly natural. And the more I got great sleep, the easier it was to stick to. I honestly underestimated the evening routine, but never again. If there's one routine I will stick to, it's this routine to set up my sleep right. The one thing I'm considering changing and experimenting with over time is my eating window. In an ideal world, all calories are consumed in the middle of the day, which gives the body some time to wake up in the morning and then have ample time to digest before going to bed. Many studies and plenty of personal stories have made it clear that ending eating earlier in the day can have some deeply profound impacts on getting a very good night's sleep. So that is next on my agenda. While evening routines are very powerful, pairing an evening routine with a morning routine is even more powerful. So in this video right here, I walk you through Bryan Johnson's morning routine that I tried for 30 days. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!